Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now we're on Beach Road and we're going to walk all the way down until we get to Beer Garden, and we're going to have a chat about what I said in the thumbnail about Pattaya's honey trap, and also about halfway down we'll finish the chat and then we'll start a story, because I've got a very good story which is actually brand new. It's just very new story. Okay, so the thumbnail, what do I mean when I say in the thumbnail the Pattaya honey trap? Well, you know the expression honey trap, and in my opinion Pattaya is like one giant honey trap, but not only for the customers, the guys, but also for the girls. Now what I mean by that is, if you look at Pattaya from the girls' point of view, then the honey becomes the money itself. So it's the opposite of what you were just thinking. Now, over many years, I've known many young farm fresh newbies who've just come down from Isan and know nothing, but they learn. And the ones which do the best and make the most money are the ones who learn to fake it. Learn to fake affection. Learn to fake making compliments. Even learn to fake love. They're the ones who end up with the gold and the cars and the houses, and of course the more attractive they are, the more money they can make. Now then, just on the left side, do you remember there was a whole bunch of bars at the bottom of Soy 8? They've been featured recently in a few different YouTube videos, but they're now pretty much finished. So being as we're walking past, we'll just jump over the tape there and we'll have a look inside and have a proper walk round and show you. I mean, it's really nice. It looks like they're going to have a whole load of pool tables at the front, doesn't it? That's what it appears to be. So nice bars, very nice. It needed it though, didn't it? I mean, it was a mess. It was getting very old. But as other people have mentioned, at the back of here there are some toilets which are not the best in the world. I wonder if they've done anything about that. I sort of don't think they have. Anyway, we'll continue our little chat, because just further down we'll have to stop again because there's quite an interesting exhibition outside the front of Central Festival. Okay, let's just carry on with what we were saying, shall we? Now, as I've said before, these girls come to Pattaya for one thing only, and that is money. Now, they don't come to find a poor foreign boyfriend, they come to find a rich foreign boyfriend. The availability of and the potential to make money traps the girls here. Another thing which traps them here is that they get addicted to the lifestyle. And I'm not talking about chemical addiction, I'm talking about the crazy, drunken, party lifestyle of the Pattaya nightlife. I know one go-go dancer who has a young daughter, and every year in April Thailand has the annual school holidays, which last for about 1 month. So come April, this dancer would go home to Surin for the month to spend time with her daughter. But when she came back, she said, I loved spending time with my daughter, but I couldn't do it for more than a month. I just couldn't wait to get back. It's so boring in Surin, she said, and she missed the crazy drunken party lifestyle of Pattaya too much. Crazy, eh? That's what they get like. Right, this is a Central Festival, and what we're going to do is just further down the left side, just past the Starbucks, I'm going to drop down because there's like a fruit festival. We'll just have a little look round. I'll continue with the chat, but I just want to show you. I mean, some of you people love fruit. I mean, I love fresh fruit, you know. So we'll just show you what there is, which is nice. Okay, just turn left here. Durian. Yeah, they don't like it in hotels because it smells too much, but the girls love it, absolutely love it. But it's expensive. But it's the durian, or just past actually the durian season, because each fruit obviously has a season. So we'll just go and have a look down here. Let me just chat to you for a moment about the sort of money these girls can make, and many do, the better looking ones. Just to, because obviously there's a lot of you guys who don't know, and you end up being a white knight and start sending money to these girls, trying to save them, and you're being played for a mug. It's as simple as that. Many of these girls could afford to send you money, though especially the way inflation is in the West there. I know several of these girls who have a house in their village already finished for when she retires, and currently the mother and father live in it, and the young children or daughters or sisters, whatever, in the village. And then as well as that, they have a couple of condos in Pattaya which are rented out and make money every month, and a car and a couple of motorbikes sometimes. This is the sort of money these girls have, right? The better looking ones. And they still claim poverty, and they beg for money to eat, to have no money to eat. And the girl's got like $1 million baht in the bank. You know, this is the way it is. And these naive white knight foreigners, the girls the guys just fall for the girls. They just fall for it. You've got to learn, guys. You've got to learn. These girls make big money, probably more than you do. Some of the better ones. Like in Walking Street and LK, some of the better ones are making $100 a day. No problem, on a regular basis. And obviously there's no tax either. That is every day for the month. That's like, 30 times 100. Yes. These girls. Believe me, I've seen it. I know what it's like. Don't fall for the BS about I've no money to eat. It's a joke. If the girl was very poor looking, maybe, but anyone half decent looking, it's a joke. Absolutely, do not fall for it. I mean, these girls get addicted to the easy money and the lifestyle. I mean, there's one good-looking girl that she's a dancer in go-go. I've known her for about 5 or 6 years. We're quite open and truthful with each other. And she was sent 30,000 baht by some white knight who sends her money on a regular basis. And the next day, she bar fined 5 of her friends from her go-go and took them all to a bar host. And not just any bar host, it's one where they have a show. And in those bar hosts, the boy drinks are 450 baht each. You thought they were expensive in go-go? No, 450 baht each. And I laughed when she told me. And she said, yes, she ended up bar fining one of the guys, the young Thai guys, and paid him 2,000 to come back to her condo, which, ironically, the white knight was paying for. When I asked her, why did you do that? You don't need to do that. She said, well, the money's there. It comes too easily. And I like the guy anyway. So she ended up blowing the whole 30,000 in one crazy night. Aye, wow. Anyway, guys, I've got a good story for you now. I've finished ranting about people being white knights and sending money. Stop it, guys. Stop it, okay? The girls don't need your money. They could pay you, all right? Anyway, let's finish the rant and go on to a story, okay, which actually is also a story about the Pattaya honey trap from the girl's point of view. But it's quite a good story. It's quite a long story, but it's a good one. You'll enjoy it. Okay? So the other day I went into my hairdresser friend's shop for a chat and a coffee. And as I walked in, she was just finishing with a customer. And as the customer was paying, I looked at her and I thought, wow, you're attractive. The girl left the shop and I said to my hairdresser friend, she's very pretty. She was dark-skinned and very Thai looking, but really, really, really pretty. So my hairdresser friend laughed and said, yeah, she's new to Pattaya. Only been here 6 weeks. She's got a great story, by the way, about why she came to Pattaya. So sit down, have a coffee, and I'll tell you. The girl's name is Far, and she's only 22 and from Bangkok. And she's lived with her parents in their small apartment in Bang Na all her life. And she did well at school and got a school leaving certificate and did particularly well at English, all of which meant that she had her choice of jobs. So she chose one where she could use her English and went to work in the reception of one of the best hotels in Bangkok. A couple of months later, she was in reception when a tall, good-looking guy in his mid-30s walked in and booked a room for 2 weeks. He said he'd just arrived in Bangkok from Milan and was just starting a 2-year contract working for an Italian multinational company at their Bangkok office, who were paying for the hotel for 2 weeks while he looked for a condo. Now, each time the Italian guy walked through the hotel reception, Far would give him her biggest smile she could possibly give. After a few days, the Italian guy came to reception and asked if there was any mail for him. He was expecting a letter. Far said, no, not yet, and then asked him how his search for his condo was going. Not well, he said. I keep getting lost. Why don't you let me help you, she said. I have 3 days holiday this weekend. Why don't I be your guide? And we'll go look at condos together. I can't let you do that without paying you. No, said Far. I don't want any money, but yesterday I heard you speaking English with an American guest in the reception. And you speak very, very good English. Because I worked in London for 4 years, he said. She said, you can pay me for being your guide by teaching me better English. The guy laughed and said, okay, it's a deal. So Friday came, and the first of Far's 3 days of holiday, and she picked him up outside the hotel in a taxi, which he paid for in the end. And off they went looking for condos, which went very, very well, and they saw about half a dozen. And then they repeated the search the next day. But on the second day, the third condo that they looked at was absolutely perfect, and they both loved it. The guy went down to reception and signed the lease and paid the deposit, and the condo reception lady said, come back tomorrow lunchtime for the keys. Job done. So on the Sunday, they went back and got the keys, and she helped him to move his stuff into the condo, which wasn't a lot of stuff, but she helped anyway. Then they went down to dinner to celebrate, and then back to the condo. And Far ended up staying the night for the first time of many. So they became boyfriend and girlfriend. And Far invited the guy to her family home for a meal, cooked by her mother. This happened several times, and each time the guy had to squeeze past a very old, dilapidated Honda Click motor scooter. He asked who was that in the way, And Far said, oh, it's my father's, you know. And a few weeks later, Far invited the guy to her parents' apartments for a meal to celebrate her father's birthday. Now, the Italian guy told her that he would meet her at the apartment at 7 p.m. True to his word, the guy arrived and parked outside on a brand new red Honda Click scooter, a birthday present for Far's father. From that moment on, Far's parents loved the Italian guy. He could do no wrong. And so it went on for a few months. He gave her a key, and she came round many evenings and let herself in. Then one day, Far was letting herself in, and there was a new girl on the condo reception who stopped her and asked, "Are you a tenant?" Far said, "No, my boyfriend is a tenant." The new girl then insisted on calling the Italian guy to ask if it was okay to let Far up. And she also asked Far to leave her ID card at reception, just like a freelancer does, you know. After that, every time Far came to the condo and this new girl happened to be on reception, the girl would insist on stopping her and asking for her ID card, which she kept in reception until Far left. Now then, a couple of weeks later, it was the Italian guy's birthday, and Far was on the rota at work to work until midnight on that day, which she did not want to do. So about noon, lunchtime, she told her hotel manager that she was sick and vomiting, and could she go home? Just an excuse, you know. The manager said, okay, and off Far went to the nearest Italian deli and bought some lunch for her and her Italian boyfriend. She got a taxi, went to his condo. There was no one on reception. She was lucky. So she took the elevator and she let herself into the condo, put the food on the table, and walked through into the bedroom to find her boyfriend and the nasty reception girl both at it on top of the bed. Far screamed and yelled abuse, then ran out of the building and got a taxi to her parents' house and told both her mother and her father what had just happened, expecting her family, including her teenage sister Knock, to be all outraged and say, how can he do such a thing? But she was greeted with, men will be men, from her father, and well, it was his birthday, from her mother. Even her teenage sister said nothing. Far screamed, it's over, I've finished with him. Her parents both said, don't be so hasty. It was probably just a one-off for his birthday. That was when Far realised that her family had effectively been bought off. She had a huge argument with her family and packed her clothes in a bag and said, I'm moving out, and just left and blocked her family on the telephone. She didn't know where she could go, but then remembered that her cousin who was a little older than her at 28 and had lived and worked in Pattaya. She called and told her the problem. Said, sure, come to Pattaya, get the bus and stay with me. Is actually also one of my hairdresser's customers. That's how this all came about. So works as a dancer in one of Pattaya's very best go-go's on Walking Street. I won't say the name. And the next day, took Far to talk to the top mama-san, because you know these places have 2 or 3 different ones. And the mama-san was very impressed with Far, with her looks particularly, and the fact that she was only 22, and offered her a job as a model. But Far said she doesn't want to show anything, you know. And the mama said, okay, you can be a coyote dancer, then you don't show anything. Fa also said she didn't want a bar fine. Okay, said the mama-san, but you will have to bar fine yourself once a week to stay within the go-go rules. Fa agreed. That same evening, she was working, dancing beside who showed her the ropes. Fa then worked 3 10-day contracts over the next month and was very popular and got a mountain of tips. And the only time she bar fined was when her and both bar fined themselves and went out to Insomnia and Republic for a night out together. So a month passed, and kept asking if Fa had contacted her family, because was worried about them. Fa said, no, I'm still angry with them. A few more days passed, and Fa and had just woken up. It was about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, when there was a knock at the door. And went to open it, and standing there was Fa's mother, obviously doing. And they both burst into tears and hugged each other. Her mother said, I was worried to death about you. How can you survive? You don't have any money. Mum, I've got a job already, here in Pattaya. Her mother said, how much can you make in here? 300 baht a day as a waitress? That's nothing. Fa didn't say a word. She just walked over to the wardrobe, opened the bottom drawer, dug out a small bag, and took out a huge wad of cash, and waved it in front of Mother's face, and said, not a waitress, a go-go dancer. This is last month's money, 80,000 baht. Her mother was gobsmacked, staring at the wad of cash, with her mouth open. Then she turned to and said, how old do you have to be to work in a go-go? 20, said The mother then looked at Fa and said, Nok, your younger sister, is 20 next month. This is Thailand. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to look at Patreon if you like uncut videos and no advert videos. And please subscribe, like, share, ring the bell. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.